911, season 9, episode 11. Dare I say, best episode of the season so far. Like, by a landslide, I had the most fun from start to finish. I was on the edge of my seat. I was gasping. I was making theories live and in real time. I was slapping my friends because we all watched together. We were like stunned. We were stunned at how good it was from start to finish. There are so many moments between so many of our favorite characters. There were so many character combinations. They managed to fit so much heart and like plot in one episode, and also had like, a typical like 911 emergency, but it tied back into the plot in such an expert way, directed beautifully. Aisha Hines, I really need you to listen to me right now. If you're hearing this, please come back. Please come back and direct more because we need you. They need you. We got to get into it. Let's go. I'm just going to talk about things randomly out of order as I think of it. Number one, May and Ravi. Absolutely. Sign me up. In fact, I've been fanning that with y'all for a long time. I just never thought they would actually do it. Do you see how fast they pulled that together? Do you see how fast? Just a few moments. And that was that. They were canon. You see what I'm saying? That could watch that space, right? Because that could happen with any other characters on this TV show at any time in the near future. And I just want to say I support it. Two hot people together, yeah. Corinne, you're beautiful. That red dress, excuse the fuck out of me. I didn't see a single man in that room after she walked in. The whole firefighter auction storyline was superb. Like, I did not expect it to take up as much screen time as it did, and I'm so glad that they like took the time and really expanded on it because we got so many moments. I mean, we got Eddie hiding in a clothing rack, could be the closet, you know what I'm saying. And being willing to have Maddie bid for him so that he doesn't have to go on a date with a stranger. That's how bad. Multiple thousands of dollars he spent so that he didn't have to go on a date with a stranger. We'll unpack that later. That was crazy. Evan Buckley, earlier in the episode, the buck flip, that was wild. I screamed. The cringe that ran through me was quite severe, but I love him so bad. I absolutely loved what they did with that storyline. Making it all about how like he's a little insecure, about how he's not really even insecure about it, but he's aware of how he's evolving into his 30s and into this new chapter of his life, and he's accepting that he's just not the same guy that he was in his 20s. He enjoys more domestic activities and quieter activities and being with his friends and family more than going out and partying and being Buck 1.0. And I think that's so important because we're setting up a very important storyline to come with a lot of these characters, but specifically with him. And I love that it ends with like he does this auction and they have the like baking montage fan cams in the back. So funny. So funny. And it ends with that group, the knitting circle that they did the call earlier on in the episode with, that they all bid on him and he just does like a knitting circle with them. That's so wholesome. Are you fucking kidding me? Like the way they could have taken this in so many directions and they took it in the most wholesome direction possible. Notice how they didn't pair Evan Buckley up with someone and they didn't pair Eddie Diaz up with someone. Do you see? Do you see what they're doing? Do you see? We're going to talk about it. I love that Hen and Chimney get a sort of like friendship moment in this episode. I have a couple thoughts still on the Hen storyline and how they're treating chronic illness overall. But I am obviously glad that she's doing better and that she's finding her purpose again. I'm glad that the car wreck wasn't like overly traumatic, but it served as a purpose of like bringing her back to her purpose as a paramedic and kind of re-inspiring her in that field again. I love that. It's a little bit like, oh, you can just kind of like anyone, if they try hard enough, can overcome their chronic illness, which is, I think, a problematic message to send. But we're not going to dissect that in this video. I am just overall, this is fantasy. This is a TV show. So I'm glad that she's feeling better and that she's making her way back to us because we need her back on the 118. There's too many men. Love them to death. There's too many men, right? So that was good. I was worried that that whole plotline was going to be overly traumatic, and it's not. And the whole monologue at the end was so hope core. Are you serious? Like, that's old 911 to me. And I loved it. Speaking of heart to hearts, we get a heart to heart between Maddie and Buck, which I love. And oh my god, that scene, the sunset on Buck's face, beautiful cinema. Really, Scorsese shaking in his boots because holy crap, he looked so beautiful, and so did she. Like, I was like, the lighting, excuse me, what's happening? What kind of film am I watching right now? And it was like meaningful and like well written and well acted. Like everything was just top notch. Loved it so much. It really was a top-notch episode. Now we get to the Eddie of it all. Wow. They really threw us in a lot of different directions with that. There were some genre changes too, like giving it suspense, giving it a bit of a thriller aspect. We all knew that the Christopher thing was going to be resolved before the first commercial break. And we looked at the time and it was like 3 minutes and 30 seconds into the episode that Christopher was fine. We all knew. They oversold that like crazy in the promo, which is how you know. Because last time Aisha Hines directed an episode, Holy Mother of God, the megachurch emergency was done within the first couple minutes of the show. So I know their tricks. But I liked how it continued, and we brought in Athena, which we need to do, right? Because sometimes it's a little hard now that Bobby's gone. And can't even talk about it still. And I thought it was fantastic how they incorporated that whole storyline because they gave you a few moments of worry where you're like, what is going to happen with this girl and her family? There's a couple of like misdirections in the plot, which I thought were clever. The whole knife fight with him and that girl's father, I'm sorry, I forgot their names. Crazy, crazy. Um, there were some moments where you're like, I'm not quite sure what Eddie's going to do, but it all like ended up working out, but provided just enough suspense to like really make the episode interesting. And let's just take a moment to acknowledge the fact that Alex, who y'all think is going to be a problem, is a plot device. There is nothing happening between the two of them, as evidenced by the fact that Eddie was in the hospital with Athena and Alex. Who runs in other than Evan Buckley himself? He doesn't even acknowledge Alex, which was funny as fuck to me, by the way. When he was like, oh, we can make that sexy. What? Yeah, I'm going to use the last few minutes of this video to talk about Buddy. We're going to Buddy Max, you and me, all right? So if you're not a Buddy fan, get out of here. That was crazy. That episode was crazy. We're on the path, you guys. Gay Eddie Buddy Canon 2026. It's happening. I'm declaring it. Okay? I'm having hope for the last and final time. Because what do you mean neither of them have ended up with anyone? Eddie spent that entire episode around Alex. Nothing funny happened. There's no vibes. There's nothing happening between the two of them. The only time she like put her hand on him was for the explicit purpose of throwing a redirect in the plot so that the person looking through the window would think something was going on. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was all a redirect. It meant nothing. There's nothing. They're not going to end up together, you guys. And if they were, they would have by now. Because now that girl, I'm sorry, again, her name escapes me, is out of the picture. She's driven off into the sunset, right? Meanwhile, the first person Eddie called when Christopher was missing, Buck, they showed it. We were all worried they weren't going to. They did. They reestablished the friendship between the two of them. Him at the hospital, right? We have a whole arc of Buck talking about how he's no longer the person who he used to be. Just a few episodes, we saw him decline a relationship with two people who were very much interested in him. How he's looking to settle down and do something a bit more serious and family oriented. Who has that? Eddie, who refuses to even look or be in the presence of another woman in any romantic context. So much so that he's willing to spend over $2,000 of his own money to avoid it. The whole episode was signs. The whole entire episode. Every single time they could have gone in the wrong direction, away from Buddy Cannon, away from Gay Eddie, they went in the direction that would allow it to happen. And we're entering a couple of episodes here that are very Buddy heavy. We have the Nashville crossover, where they're the two people from the 118 who go over to Nashville and do whatever the fuck they're going to do there. That's next week. Strap in. And then the week after, we have this supposed maybe Buddy bottle episode where they're at the motel and it's some Psycho reference thing. I'm sorry, like, I have eyes to see. I have brain. I have brain in here. I look at what I see and I synthesize the information. And it's the information is telling me they haven't shut the door on it. In fact, they've taken the door off its hinges and literally anything can happen. That's so scary. Is anyone else as scared as I am? I can't even fit everything into one video because it's going to cut me off. But let me know if you like the episode, what you liked about the episode, what you're looking forward to. We're keeping optimism up here, okay? Morale, keeping it up.